Oh, what is that smell?
Yeah, that was probably me, mate.
Oh,
Sorry. Been hitting the proteins pretty hard, trying to get my gains.
gains? You have to go to the gym to get gains. You've just been eating protein for like a week.
Oh, shit, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, my God.
Get it into you, mate. Get it into you.
Oh, why did you use my ensuite toilet? There's a perfectly good main toilet.
Well, if you've got a problem, why don't you just leave your room?
Oh, God. Oh.
You can just walk out, mate.
I can't. This kinesthetic tape stuck me to the couch.
It's all right. I'll fix it. Let me just grab this sports drink. All right, give me a hand. I got you. You ready?
Was the research to try and sound genuinely like I was doing work. I don't know where this is going.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, mate?
Not much, man. Which beer's yours?
The one closest to me is mine. I should say the more full one. But no,
How you been?
Yeah, all right. I'm a bit sore, actually.
Bit sore?
I was telling you before we started, my wife got onto this bikini body thing.
That's not a bad thing.
No, and like I said, I'd do the exercises with her, and like I was doing it. It took me about 15-something minutes, less than 15 minutes to get through the 2 circuits, like a circuit training thing, and I was fine. Sat down, watched some TV while she finished, did a little bit of stretching. Woke up the next day, and I was a broken man.
Yeah.
I was in a lot of pain. I'm still sore today. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Like,
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah, we both play football together, so we kind of
play is probably a strong word.
We try to attempt to play it together, and often we'll walk in work Monday and we're like, oh shit, and
I'm pretty sore,
and even like I was playing ice hockey the other week, and my lower back, man, is killing me.
Yeah,
it's like it's a muscle that I've really never had to work before. My lower
having
back.
a squat. Yeah.
No, well, I didn't. I chose not to work, hard manual labour. So I've never really worked my back before, and
it's delicate academic
still
muscles.
Sore, man, still sore, and the hockey boots, and it's just it's not good. It's not good.
It's fun though. We all love a bit of sports, though, don't we?
Oh man, I'm obsessed with sports, as you know. I think we both are.
Oh yeah, a bit nuts for it.
Yeah, we love it.
You got to love it.
You got to love the competitiveness. You got to love, you're trying to get one up on the opposition.
If you're an atheist, it's about as close as you get to religion, isn't it?
We were talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like, because for the listeners, I went and spoke to Byrne. I'm like, dude, I don't know why it is, but for some reason, like, I just get obsessed with sport. Like, going to the...
He's not joking, listeners. You may have heard him talk about ice hockey a lot. This time 1 year ago, he didn't even know ice hockey existed in Australia.
I knew it existed, but I just didn't know we had a professional league. Go Bears. And so, like, and we're talking about, weren't we? And we're kind of saying, like, why is it that we get so attached to our sports team? We're both Western Sydney Wanderers fans. We love our Wanderers. They're our
Who do we
favourite
sing
club.
for?
Yeah, who do we sing for? And, and like that buzz you get when you walk into a stadium, your team's just about to take the pitch. And it was funny because we're like, actually, you know what? Like, I can understand why religious people get off so much on going to church and things like that.
It's probably a poor choice of words with the current state
true,
of
yes.
Church.
The current state of the Catholic Church and what's going on
dear.
there. Maybe not getting off, but enjoy it so much. That's probably the poor choice of words too.
Oh, man. Let's try to reel this back into sports.
Yeah,
hey?
so
we're talking about sports performance.
Yeah, sports performance. So we got an email from one of our listeners that said, hey, why don't you guys do an episode on like sports medicine? There's so much woo in sports medicine. Or he was wondering if there was.
Yeah, so thanks to Stefan for the idea, and he's not kidding. There is a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, I know. So thank you, Stefan. When did you send? You would have sent that email a
little while ago.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
We've been busy. Just let the listeners know we
Slack.
do. Yeah, we read it, but it's just one of those things. We have all these episodes lined up. We have seasons lined up, and then we kind of think to ourselves, all right, what are we going to do now? And we had to look back at the email. So for our listeners out there, please, come and send us an email or a message and say, hey guys, I'd really like to know more about this. And if it's worthwhile it's easy enough to answer and we can make an episode out of it, we will.
Yeah, or else we'll try and get an expert in.
Or else we'll try and get an expert in, yeah. So
we thought we'd have a crack at the sports one today. We might get an expert down the line, but you know, we'll have a crack. Now, one thing I found really interesting when I was reading about this is as long as sports have been around, there's been people trying to improve their performance. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Galen, Galen. Ancient Greek physician. He was like the OG of doctors. Hippocrates, basically. Okay. So he's the first one to perform dissections on animals and trying to build up what a human looked like, because you weren't allowed to do dissections on people back then.
Yeah, he was the church wouldn't allow it, would they?
This is before the church, I reckon, in many respects. Now, basically, he used to recommend to athletes back in like the year 200 that they consume testicles, mushrooms, and certain herbs to improve their performance.
I'm guessing testicles for masculinity and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck, I don't know, mate. I don't know. This is some doctor who was a big doctor at the time. Everyone's like, yeah, sure, I'll eat those. I'm more concerned. Who's donating their testicles?
It gives a new kind of meaning to the term "suck my nuts."
I need these to win. But that's like thousands of years ago, or more than. Slightly less than 2,000 years ago. We were trying to improve our performance.
About 1,800 years, Byrne.
Almost exactly 1,800 years ago. We were trying to improve our performance by taking supplements and stuff. So I thought that'd be a good place to start, is with supplements.
All for our competitive nature as humans, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all for that.
I was a bit surprised. I was thinking, supplements, from what I hear, total bunk. You know, take supplements, great way to make expensive urine. But there is a lot of science out there that actually suggests some supplements do indeed work.
Okay.
I'm talking sports performance here. If you need supplements because of a dietary restriction or something, that's a different story.
Yep.
But in terms of sports performance, we have things like creatine, which actually has some very substantial science behind it, which really surprised me. You know? I thought, supplements, you get them out of your diet anyway. As long as you have a well-balanced diet and you're an athlete, you'll be fine. But apparently creatine, a 2017 meta-analysis, suggests that it can help both sprinters and endurance athletes, which was amazing to me. Okay. It's very rare that you have something to help both of them.
Here's the thing, though. How many laymen actually are sprinters and marathon athletes? That's what you need to kind of consider as well. Like sprinters, are we talking about professional sprinters that every day are down the track? Because they're not exercising at a normal rate.
No, creatine also works for non-athletes. This is one thing I thought. I thought, this is supreme, elite, Olympic level athletes, maybe, but then there's also some suggestions that it has benefits for non-athletes too.
Okay, fair enough.
And the argument is it supplies your muscles with this extra creatine, and we use creatine for an instant source of energy. So it's like a non-aerobic system for those playing at home out there, and creatine might actually help improve performance. And it's also legal for all of those dropping anabolic steroids around the place. You can take creatine legally for sports.
Does it depend what sport or...?
I have no idea. We didn't get into that much detail. Yeah. Don't take steroids. Creatine seems to be okay, though.
Yeah, and especially if you are going to take steroids, please don't set up some sort of charity beforehand, okay? Because it ruins it for everyone, all right? Like, all these people donate money and they get behind the charity and then, boom, you're a cheat. We all know who we're talking about.
We know we're talking about here. Yeah. You did lose a nut, though, so, it evens out.
Maybe he ate it.
He ate it. That's what helped it.
Boom! Dear. You set him up, I knock him down, Byrne.
All right. All right, let's see how we can knock this one down then.
Okay.
So if you picture a gym junkie, what kind of sweet treat has he got walking around with him?
What sort of sweet treat?
What do you picture a gym junkie taking with him?
Oh, protein.
Protein.
Right. Yeah, absolutely protein.
Turns out it fucking works.
Okay.
Like, protein is often consumed by the gym junkies. There was a 2012 meta-analysis which suggests that absolutely protein has been shown repeatedly to show improvements in muscle gain.
How much protein, though, is what I'm going to ask.
Great question. Now, some protein you get out of whey, they get it from all these different things. As long as you're upping your protein intake, it's going to work. You don't have to have a shitty tasting milkshake to take your protein.
And do disgusting shits too.
Yeah, that's right. And stink out the whole fucking gym.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. No, but it seems to work, but only with regards to resistance training. So if you are taking protein resistance training for gains, it will totally work. But you can get your protein from places other than crappy milkshakes that taste like some guy came in your fucking...
You'd be able to get it from testicles. You would?
This is true. There's definitely protein
Mushrooms?
in testicles. Lentils.
Lentils?
Yeah.
You get protein from...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of those things. Pulses contain a lot of protein. Seeds and nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So protein works. Don't need to have it in a shake. Just take protein.
Hey, you don't need to eat anyone's balls either.
Yeah, that's right. Unless they're into that.
Unless they're into
I'm
that.
not judging.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Herbal supplements. Totally don't work.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the herbal supplements we're talking about boosting performance are linked to boosting testosterone or some other natural protein production, something that's like a natural steroid.
Yeah.
Most of the herbal supplements out there, get this, either don't do what they claim.
What?
What? I.e. boost testosterone, or if they do indeed boost testosterone, it has absolutely zero effect on what they're trying to do. So, i.e. the testosterone doesn't really help build muscles.
Whoa. Okay. Well...
Another one is amino acid supplementation.
Yep.
Doesn't really help either.
Okay.
So supplementation might help, might not. Depends on which one.
Okay. So whereabouts are some good journals where people can go and maybe read up on this stuff? Like, is there like the British Medical
there's sports
Journal? I know
medicine.
Sports
British
Medicine.
Medical Journal is one of the articles I got out of there. There is
Yeah.
a few journals out there which are open access, so you don't need to deal with a paywall to get access to it as well. There's some good quality information out there.
And what about what we learnt the other day about the library?
Oh, right. Should we give that a plug? I suppose we
think
should.
Why not?
If you're lucky enough to be in New South Wales, as we are, you can join the State Library, New South Wales State Library, and you get free access to a lot of scientific journals.
Yeah, how good's that? I'm not sure how it works for other states and other countries or even in Australia.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you get access
If you're local, happy days.
Exactly. So there's no more being a tight ass anymore.
No, so supplements, bit of a mixed bag there. I thought it was going to be a write-off.
Yeah, but like once again though, it's all about how you present the information. You know, for instance, protein's good for you. It does this, it does that. But there's that other hidden side, and you know that says, well, actually, if you have a healthy diet and you do X, Y, and Z, then you should be getting enough of what you need to grow muscle. And as well, the amount that you exercise too, like you know,
having extra
some
protein
of the studies,
will
for
build
instance,
muscle mass, but you don't need a shitty milkshake for it.
Like some of the research I looked at just in general, just in regards to protein shakes and stuff like that, found that, it was really only beneficial if you were like a professional gym junkie who, you know, like is trying to build heaps and heaps and heaps of muscle mass. But
become the next Mr. Universe.
Yeah, but once again, that was years ago with that research. You've obviously looked at it more recently, so you'd be a much more accurate representation of what's going on.
I don't know, maybe we should flip a coin.
So I kind of found a similar thing with energy drinks.
Yeah?
Oh, sorry, not energy, just sports drinks. My apologies. So
you're talking like Gatorades and
I'm talking about
Powerades
the kind of, you know, all the sports drinks that are on the market at the moment. So here's the thing. So
What's your favourite colour, Wade?
Oh, I like the purple.
The purple,
grape.
the grape one?
Yeah, it tastes like it tastes like bubble gum.
I'm the orange crush guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you like that dirty lemon.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I want it nasty.
That's filth. So I drink Gatorade. I don't drink it when I don't need to, but like if I'm, you know, feeling like I've got a really bad headache for hydration and stuff like that. Likewise, you know, if I play a game, I'll have a Gatorade or water. I'm happy with either, but generally if I'm, I'll get a Gatorade and a water. So where did it all start? So you kind of like energy drinks kind of weren't around in the 50s, and it wasn't really till...
You mean electrolyte drinks, right?
Electrolyte drinks, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I keep
Or the
saying
Maximus.
energy drinks.
You keep saying energy.
Nah,
we'll just
my
put a
apologies.
little asterisk next to it. If Wade refers to an energy drink from this point forward,
Yes.
he's talking about an electrolyte-rich drink.
Yes. So stuff that's meant to give you more energy to, obviously perform.
To
your
replace
best.
the stuff that's lost in
Yes, so
sweat.
that's what I mean by energy drinks. I don't mean stuff like Red Bull and stuff like that, because we all know scientifically they give you wings. So certain athletes were actually originally discouraged from drinking fluids as they believed that it would slow them down. So all of a sudden...
I feel like that is shit advice straight up. Don't drink any fluids because it'll slow you down.
Yeah, it's more weight. So I think that was, I don't know, maybe that was a logic behind it. Like, more, you got more water and you got more weight, you're carrying more weight. You have a lot of water than you just,
Athletes were dying of dehydration.
I don't know. But ironically, this changed in the 70s with the growth in popularity of the New York Marathon. So marathons started kind of getting big, and and all of a sudden, with that, drink manufacturers noticed a potential growth industry. So all of a sudden, like, oh, okay. So the first batch of like Gatorade would cost you about £28. Like, yeah, that was like the first kind of experimental batch, and it was just a...
What, as a liquid, or did it come as the powder? You didn't get it in the powder form as well?
I don't know, but I think it was just a whole bunch of stuff chucked together, which makes me probably think that it was probably just mixed with the water. So here's the thing. With manufacturers knows this potential growth, well, it fucking worked. All right? like now sports drinks, which are sometimes referred to as energy drinks, not Red Bull, but the sports drinks, is one of the most sold soft drinks in the world. Okay? In the UK, it is the fastest growing soft drink as well.
Wow, really?
Yes. Now, once some researchers got a hold of it, okay, and it was actually in the British Medical Journal, they got a hold of it, and what they found was, you know how we did an episode of Sci-gasm the other day?
Yep.
With an amazing name? That we coined that. We should put that on Urban Dictionary, by the way.
Sci-gasm law.
Sci-gasm law. So what actually was found was that businesses were actually sponsoring the scientists to conduct research on hydration. Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess that's their sort of area of interest.
No, businesses,
you got to check your product out. You got to provide some sort of studies or research behind it, some evidence.
They have an interest in what's going on. If they see there's a gap in the research, the morally correct thing to do would be like, this is our product. We need to know more about this product. Let's employ some scientists to do some research.
Yeah.
Or sponsor some scientists to do research so we find out more about our product, so we know how we can best make this the best product it can be.
Yep.
All right? That's how it should work. So these scientists were employed, or were sponsored to do studies on hydration. Okay. Now here's the thing: these scientists were also informing the sports, like certain sports medicine organisations, who in turn were informing the European Food Safety Administration and as well the Olympic committees.
No, really?
So it was kind of down this kind of trickle effect, and this is what we have to be careful with in science: is that.
So there was no real independent research coming in to inform these government bodies. It was
some of it could have been. Some of it could have been a little bit slanted towards the investment. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, okay?
That's good. Sidestep the litigation issues, Wade. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So the thing is, though, from it came a lot of wrong science.
Yeah.
Okay, stuff like it created this fear regarding dehydration. Like dehydration was this, really bad thing, and you don't know when you're dehydrated. Okay, when you feel thirsty, you're really, really thirsty.
It's already too late.
Exactly, it's already too late. You need to get, these fluids into you ASAP, or this drink into you ASAP to build up your electrolytes again. From this trickle down effect, things slip through the cracks of the scientific understanding of certain issues, and a lot of misconceptions were brought about.
Okay.
Not saying they were bought off. Maybe they were.
Not saying they weren't. Yeah.
Maybe they weren't. But for some reason, ironically, there started to be a lot of misinformation trickling down. So the misconception was your body doesn't know when or how thirsty it really is. Many health organizations, and websites say you should drink, even when you aren't thirsty. All right? Because you need to continually keep your fluids up for maximum performance, all right? Because hydration drastically affects performance.
I've been drinking when I'm not thirsty, usually when I'm out on the town, and all I end up doing is pissing a lot.
And vomiting, but that's alcohol.
Yeah, but that's right. That vomiting comes later, but before that, I just end up going to the toilet a lot. It's very clear, but I go a lot.
Yeah, but that means that all, like, your kidneys and you're just balancing that, oh my God, what is it when your body maintains that continual kind of environment?
Osmoregulation?
Osmoregulation, yeah, there's an actual word, though, for it.
Homeostasis.
That's it. Homeostasis. Your body's maintaining homeostasis, and so all your body's doing is like, well, you've got too much water in you. That's why your piss is clear, because you are pretty much pissing out water. You could get Bear Grylls on that shit. I don't reckon it would be as bad. You'd be able to drink it, I reckon. It's called bubbling. All right? It's called bubbling. If anyone is interested in it, is
it Todd Carney's picture, I think it is?
Todd Carney, yeah, famous rugby league. Seeing that we're on the on the topic of sports, there was a famous rugby league.
He was just rehydrating, clearly.
Yeah, he was clearly like on the town. He's like, well, it's clear, it's got to be all right. And
the
then
misinformation out there, he thought it was good for him.
Yeah, he decided to bubble.
Yeah, that's right. He needed to get those electrolytes back somehow.
Exactly. So what's happening there is your kidneys are just filtering out. This is great, this episode. We're just taking us straight to the gutter. So what happens is, your kidneys filter out, like, so your kidneys, the role of your kidneys is to kind of balance this salt kind of level and osmoregulation. And so it just balances the salt and water levels in your body. So if you have a lot of water in your body, then obviously it's going to maintain the salts and it'll get rid of the excess water. It's an amazing thing. The human body is absolutely incredible. And then if you haven't got enough water, then obviously it's going to maintain that water and will excrete the excess salts.
And that's where you got Yellowtown.
That's why you're in Yellowtown, and the piss really stinks too. Yeah. So, anyway, the first part. Many health organisation websites say you should drink even when you aren't thirsty. Not true, because hydration drastically affects performance. Well, that's a true statement. Okay,
Yeah, that makes
hydration
sense,
does drastically affect performance. If you're completely dehydrated, you're not going to perform at your best.
No, that's right.
All right.
If you're overhydrated, you just need to take a piss and you're not paying attention.
Exactly. So, but here's where I believe a lot of this misconception comes, because you have a false statement backed up by a true statement. So half of it's true, half of it's not.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Now, a review in the British Journal, of Sports Med found that using your thirst gauge, so you going, I'm thirsty, I'm going to have some water,
now I'll drink,
actually resulted in better time trials in cyclists.
Huh, okay. So trusting your body's better than
just taking water for the sake of taking water, going, I'm playing, so I need to keep hydrated. Okay? So, which is rather interesting, because you can see the murkiness, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to say promote that would be so easy to market, I reckon.
Yeah.
Saying, because hydration drastically affects performance, so you need to make sure you continually keep hydrated. It's like, well, actually, there's two parts to that statement you just made.
Totally.
Yeah. You like that? This is some good research, isn't it?
It is. I like that a lot.
So,
Cybiz law.
Cybiz law. So sports drinks, the next kind of misconception I thought I'd address with sports drinks are healthy. All right? Now.
What?
Yes.
I mean, sugar and water isn't good for me?
You mean sugar and water is not good for you? Well, that's exactly right, Byrne. So here's the thing. You know that trickle-down thing I was talking about before? Cool. Just random, just seeing if you remember it. The Food Standards Australia and New Zealand proposed to allow sports drinks to make health claims beyond what's currently permitted. So what that means is they could make health claims. Now, these health claims, this is what they pushed for, right? And then all of a sudden the public are like, hang on, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Yeah.
So what happened was they wanted to allow, or they proposed that they could make health claims beyond what's currently permitted. And the claims could be self-substantiated by the manufacturer, meaning there will be no requirement for their veracity to be verified by someone else. What, in basic terms, what that means is they could make claims that, we've done this study, we found this, and they could put it out there without it having to be verified by an independent body.
Oh, that's a bit shit.
That is a bit shit.
Like, it's one thing when you're the only people investigating it. It's another thing when you are selling a product based solely on your own investigation.
Yeah. Now, so are they healthy for you? So although sports drinks provide functional, not health benefits, so they can provide, functional benefits. Okay, not saying that they're completely useless, but if you're looking at to get healthy, okay, they're not saying they're not health benefits. They can help your performance a little bit.
So if you're like right up the end and you are sweating a lot, and
Yeah,
you're
exactly. Yeah,
endurance athlete.
That's not saying that
then they're quite good for you.
Yeah, no, so is water. You know, like although they can help functionality, they don't provide really any health benefits. Now, here's the thing: they've been seen to provide functional benefits for events longer than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, you name an event that a layman does that goes for longer than 2 hours continued exercise. Not very many people do that type of thing.
No.
Okay. Some people might say I play cricket, but we both know you just stand there and drink beer.
Yeah, that
so
doesn't
don't you
count.
dare take a sip of that Powerade.
I play cricket. That's standing in a paddock
baseball
for a
too.
prolonged period of time.
Baseball, same thing.
Yeah.
So, in fact, these energy drinks, or sports drinks, I should say, can actually be counterproductive for people, because the reason why, like the layman, what I mean by people is the layman, because the main reason why people take up sport and exercise is to maintain weight or lose weight. They don't want to put on weight. So it can actually not be beneficial for the layman. So, for instance, me going to football on the weekend or hockey or whatever.
Smashing your 1 litre Maximus.
Exactly, yeah. Smashing a 1 litre Maximus, even 2 litres some days, actually doesn't, it just puts more shit into my body, more energy that if I don't, my intake doesn't equal my output, which means that I've kind of come out of it not really.
I've played with you for a couple of years now. That is, your output is not equaling your intake.
Oh,
man. I'm
definitely
sorry.
not. Definitely not. So there's the problem, right? So for the layman, it's like, yeah, great. If you're going to do a marathon, then some scientific studies have shown that it can it can help your functionality. However, if you're just a layman just doing sport on a weekend, probably not a good idea, because if you're doing it to lose weight and to maintain weight, and
if you're just playing a bit of touch footy on a weekday afternoon, probably don't need that Powerade.
Exactly, you can just have water.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing is a study by the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity. Now, I hope you can see where people make this mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, so we laugh, but you can see through the marketing ploys why people think this. So, the study from the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity from the University of Connecticut found that 25% of American parents thought that sports drinks were actually healthy for their kids.
What? Healthy?
Yes. They thought they were healthy.
Oh, here, I'm giving my
Here's
kid
the catch.
a sports drink. It's healthy for them.
Yes.
A quarter of them.
Because of the marketing. Now, here's the thing. This is what gives it away. They knew that soda wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, see, I feel like if you know that soda, you got to know that.
No, because the marketing says that, have this drink and it'll give you extra energy. You can go out and play, live a healthy lifestyle, all that type of stuff.
Look at this person running around before they drink it.
Exactly.
Whereas, soda, it's some guy sitting at a party drinking a Coke or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. So they knew soda wasn't, but 25% of parents didn't know that soft drink soda wasn't healthy for their kids.
Wow, that amazes me. I would have thought that we were a bit better informed. I can understand a percentage, but a quarter of them.
Let me reword that. So 25% of American parents thought that energy drinks or sports drinks were healthy for their kids, but far, 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 far more knew that soda wasn't. So
that's what I mean. I feel like if they know soda isn't, then they should make that connection.
It's a marketing thing. It's all marketing.
Wow. Yeah, I had no idea it would be that high. I knew there'd be something, but that is astronomically high. Yeah. There needs to be some sort of
regulation
law or something. Yeah.
Well, the Food Standards Australia and New Zealand tried to do it, and unfortunately, the public shut them down.
How dare you tell me what I'm eating is bad for me? Yeah. I don't want to know about my Big Mac.
So, what have you got for us?
I've got compression gear.
Compression gear.
So compression gear, and even the hang on, I always stuff up the pronunciation of this. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right.
Kinesthetic tape.
Yeah, that's a kinesthetic tape or the Kinzio tape or something.
Yeah.
So same sort of idea. Now the whole logic behind compression gear, they're like your skins and stuff, is that it increases blood flow and therefore it increases oxygen delivery for muscles, which will improve your performance and your recovery.
Fair enough.
Seems pretty logical, right?
Yep.
Now, at face value, this could be the case. I found a study from 2012 which said that, we are definitely see improved performance and improved recovery. And I was thinking, like, holy shit, I actually wear skins when we play. I've got the short skins. However, mine is because my thighs are too thick and I get chafe, so it's a great way to avoid chafe.
Why do you wear skins? I get chafage.
I get chafed. It's just pretty bad. Just shows how much I run during the game, that's all.
Shows how fat your fucking legs are.
I am a bit of a nug. But anyway, no, this 2012 study said, yeah, it totally backed it up until you actually looked into the details of the study. Okay, so the study tested 22 rugby union players specifically, and they tested them wearing compression gear, and they tested half of them wearing a placebo gear, so same sort of stuff, but made out of non-compression stuff.
Yep.
Then they got them to swap after they did the test. Now, the test they did was basically sprints, so 40-meter dashes, a bunch of them, and then endurance, a 3-kilometer run. Now, when they said it improves performance, when you look at the detail, it says it found a 2% improvement in performance with a confidence interval of 2%. So give or take 3%. Somewhere between 0 and 4% improvement in performance.
Could you imagine selling that to someone? But, so we found a 2% increase in performance.
That's
why,
why,
okay. That's good at a professional, professional level. 2%. That makes that can be the difference between winning a premiership or coming second. Yeah, and okay.
It could also be 0.
It could also be 0 because the confidence interval is 2%.
Could be 4 though.
It
on
could
the plus
be 4. We'll take it.
Now, all right. So that's not very much. But here's the thing I found really interesting is fatigue. It decreased fatigue by 15%. Give or take 25%.
So it technically could have made things worse.
Could be up to 10% worse, yeah. But it could be 35% better or 40% better as well.
I'll take it.
Now, this is where we start to say the devil is in the detail with a lot of these studies. So not all scientific studies are created equally. So a lot of people would read the results of this study, and the articles I read leading into my dabbling in the academic literature did quote this study as saying, yeah, there's some evidence to back up that compression gear works. And when I read the study, I'm like, no, it isn't. That is terrible evidence. It's a very weak study. So I found another one from 2012 in sports medicine, and this was a meta-analysis, so it was a little bit better. And it suggests that any performance in recovery by compression gear is all in your head. So they're a massive placebo effect.
I guess, but especially in sport where it's such a, like when you get at that elite level, often what it can be is just a mental thing. It's that mental edge you have over your opponent.
Absolutely. If if you need that for a placebo effect and for in your head, then absolutely, why not go and use it if that's important, especially when you are, as you said, at that elite level. Now, another problem with this
Which
compression
doesn't concern us for
well,
anything.
it's not an issue for us. I'm just going to stick with the chafe issue.
I've got my own problems over here.
That's right. They seem
Where's
to
that
work
Vaseline?
for chafe.
Yeah.
I can tell you it works for chafe. Now, the thing is with a lot of these studies is because they're testing sports, how do you test sports? You know, like I said, there's rugby players. There's so many different sportsmen. There's so many different sports when it comes to how we're going to assess performance. Like, obviously a rugby player is not going to do as well in, say, a vertical jump test as a basketball player.
Yes.
You know, so it becomes a whole range. So,
and keep in mind, different players in the same sport can be good at different things. Like
especially
a player
something
might
like
be
rugby.
fast, another player might be able to jump high, another player might just be solid and more balanced.
yeah, if you've
Another
got a
player
hooker
might
in
have
rugby
better
compared to a
technique.
winger, big difference.
Yeah, exactly. So there's different aspects to the sport. So it's so complicated. I have a lot of respect for these sports scientists because like the advancements in that field, the technological advancements are awesome.
Yeah, I think I agree. I do have a lot of respect. You know, maybe not as much as the hardcore sciences, but they've got a lot of variables to contend with, and I still see them as better than social scientists. So, now the Kinsey tape. The problem with a lot of the compression gear is we have to assess regular Joe blows, and it's kind of hard to assess then. So I started looking into the Kinsey tape, and what we actually found was that there are some really good tests out there because they're looking at the widespread use. You know that really brightly coloured tape that became popular through the Olympics?
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff we're talking about, as opposed to the old school skin coloured tape that was rigid. Okay, so they're saying this tape's better than the rigid tape, and they're both better than no tape at all. Okay, now these studies I looked at were specifically to do with like plebs, you and me playing sport. Does Kinsey tape actually work? We had a few guys in our team rocking the tape this year.
Did we? Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I gave them a bit of shit. I'm like, you look like an idiot, mate. Just don't play this week. We don't need you that badly, all right?
If you're going to go out wearing that, then...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, a 2012 meta-analysis says that no injury was improved using Kinsey tape, but it was based on 6 different studies.
Okay, so
Okay.
it was
a meta-analysis, but not a strong one.
Meta-analysis, like, what's really a meta-analysis and a literature review?
Yeah, it was a meta-analysis because it put all of those studies together into an analysis.
Okay.
Okay, there was another 2011 study of 31 regular Joes and looked specifically at their vertical leap, which may suggest some benefit, but a bit like the other study quoted, it's a pretty minimal benefit. It's pretty open-ended still. A 2013 study of 60 females saw that there was no change related to lower back and quadriceps. And the good thing about this study is they did a whole range of exercises like jumps, squats, certain flexibility tests, certain strength tests, all with a Kinsey tape, and said there is no difference between tape, no tape, and rigid tape.
So it's just a bunch of people looking like dickheads jumping up and down.
It is.
Cool.
It was basically, specifically females it was. I don't know why they kept it to females, all around the same age as well, and they said there is no difference to performance.
Down with the patriarchy. Boo!
That's right. I really like that one because it was quite well controlled, that study, even though there was 60, which is a reasonable sample size for this kind of stuff. It was regular people. It wasn't elite performance people where they do get that psychological edge to improve their performance. These are just people taped or untaped. Now, my favourite study here is a 2016 one out of Hong Kong, which again was looking at differences between tape, no tape, and this Kinsey tape. It had 33 participants, and it tested specifically grip strength by tasting their wrist. The reason I like this study is because to avoid placebo effect, they had them blindfolded. So they couldn't tell the difference between the Kinsey tape and the regular tape. Okay. And I'm thinking, this is a grip strength study and they're blindfolding their participants. I can't not put this into Sci-gasm.
It wasn't the stay with the poor women, was it?
No, this was 33 regular participants. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't have much detail at what they were gripping or how long or why they selected grip strength and the importance of blindfolding them. But apparently they reckon, so they couldn't tell the difference between the two different kinds of tape.
They weren't testing like sucking strength, were they?
Yeah, that's right. We're just going to blindfold you. Now grab this. Oh, that's pretty good. How far can you pull it?
Can you measure it? Is it 16 centimetres?
That's enough. Oh, dear. But basically, summary, looking at all this, that study in the end found, again, no difference in grip strengths between tape, no tape, or Kinsey tape, blindfolded or not. So it seems Kinsey tape, again, is a psychological thing. A lot of the compression stuff is psychological.
Yeah. I was reading something recently on ice baths, and it was kind of suggesting that ice baths, getting athletes into ice baths, isn't as good as it was once made out to be. And I spoke to one of my friends who's actually is an Olympic trainer, and he was saying his view on it is if it helps the athlete mentally, then why not do it? That's like if it helps their performance and mentally they're like, I've had an ice bath, I feel better, then cool.
Totally.
If that's going to maximize your performance, totally fine with it.
When it comes down to centimetres or milliseconds or something, that little psychological makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
But by and large, it seems most of the stuff out there is pretty much woo. Like, you don't need sports drinks if you're just running around on the weekend. You don't need Kinsey tape or compression socks or tops.
The only thing you need protein for is to do a massive shit.
Yeah, and protein you can get from other places. If you're going to go to the gym to get gains, you can just eat a bit more protein and you'll get the same thing as drinking whey protein.
Absolutely. Well, look, thanks for joining us again, all the listeners. We hope that was somewhat insightful. We understand there's a lot of you listening to a science podcast that probably don't play a lot of sport.
It's like, oh God, a sports episode.
No.
I have to wait 2 weeks for another
Unsubscribe, yeah. But look, thank you again. Like, this came about from a suggestion by someone just sending something in, going, hey, how about you guys do an episode on this? I've noticed there's a lot of stuff on this. They'd like to hear our opinions on it. You heard it. And once again, if there's other research out there that you've come across that contradicts the research we've found, or larger studies, more recent studies, please send them through to us. We're always happy to correct ourselves.
Love to.
Yeah.
Love to. If you have a suggestion, you can get us at info@sci-gasm.com.
Yes.
Or if you'd like to chuck us some cash to help fund it, you can hit us up at patreon.com/Sci-gasm podcast.
Likewise, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So thanks very much for joining us, guys. We appreciate it. We still find it amazing that you guys still listen. We love you guys very much.
Bye.
Bye.